I want to share with you something that I don't hear a lot and that I think will make your entire fitness journey a million times more enjoyable and more importantly, not have this unobtainable, never ending goal of looking a certain way that you never will. If you've been lifting for at least 2 to 3 years in the gym consistently, it's time for you to actually get lean. And I'm not talking about a quick mini cut, I'm talking about like 10% body fat, truly lean for the first time in your life. And I'm gonna tell you why today. After the first like year or two of like messing around, trying to figure it out, not really knowing what I was doing, I did a 2 year bulk. So it was really like 4 years in for me. Again, if I had better information, then I would have done this faster. But the point is, I bulked for 2 years. I put on 55 pounds in that time. Probably 50% of that was fat at least. But the point is I put on, probably a good 20 pounds of mass, let's be real. And that was my newbie gains, everything just came together. So after I finally decided to do a mini cut after the end of that bulk there, basically what happened is I just yo-yoed for the next like 3 years. I never really got lean, I never really got bigger, I kind of just yo-yoed. Did I gain some mass during that time? Of course I did. Did I get better at training? Did I get better at dieting and all that and understanding how to build plans? Yes, of course I did. But I never made any serious visual progress over the next 3 or 4 years because I was in no man's land. Wasn't really big, wasn't really lean, just kind of in between. And so now I am the leanest I've ever been. I'm probably sitting at around 10% body fat right now, somewhere around there, maybe 10 to 12. Okay, Greg, you said, chill out. But this is the leanest I've ever been at the amount of muscle that I have right now. Now that I've done this, I was like, man, I should have done this 3 years in or right at the end of that big bulk. And so I'm going to kind of explain why. So after the first few years of lifting, you've put on a big majority of the muscle that you can actually grow. Like that's your newbie gains phase. In the first 2 years, you've probably put on at least 60% of the muscle that you can actually gain naturally, like honestly. And now after you do like that big initial bulk, there's really no benefit from getting fat. Like there's no benefit. You don't gain more muscle. There's no special thing that you get from being fat. And in fact, I can make a video about this. I actually got pre-diabetic from bulking for too long. I didn't even know until like years later. I literally became pre-diabetic. This cut and taking different supplements and eating different ways. Now, working with my coach, I was able to lower my A1C, which is basically just means I'm not pre-diabetic anymore. I'll make a video about that separately, but the point being, there's no reward for being the fattest person, especially while you're trying to build muscle. And in fact, being leaner makes your body more insulin sensitive. It shuttles the food straight into the muscle, like where we actually want it to be anyway, right? And so what I'm recommending is you do a real proper cut, like slow cut, maybe you're losing a pound a week, something like that, maybe 2 pounds a week on the beginning, right? Real slow. And you get yourself down to 10% body fat-ish, get yourself real lean, see what you actually look like, see what's underneath, see what you've actually built and what you need to work on. And then from there, you can go into a bulk again, very slowly this time, albeit, and you can bounce between 10 and 15% body fat. If you really suffer in that, you can raise that bar. It just depends. Like I'm a person who's leaner naturally. If you are not a naturally lean person, that may be too much for you. I'm just giving you kind of like a rough idea, okay? And so from there, you can bounce between your leanest and your kind of in between kind of stage. For me, that might be like 15% body fat. And you can stay lean while you build the physique, while you continue to grow over time. You can stay lean and you can look great all the time. A lot of people stay in this cycle where they're constantly bulking and then they do mini cuts to just look normal, like they don't ever get lean. Not only is there obvious health issues that come from this, but also they never really like the way they look and it's this like negative kind of cycle. You can look really good while building your physique at the same time. You can do both, believe it or not. You just have to find that middle ground of where you can be lean, look good, feel good and perform well. There is a middle ground, and obviously you'll find that out for yourself. And I think that a lot of guys also will never reach that peak natty look that they want as well, just because they don't apply enough time or they're just not, adjusting and progressing properly. And so the point is, either way, while you're building this physique, you might as well look good along the way. There's no reason you need to suffer and be fat and just keep saying, dude, the cut's gonna be crazy, bro. And you just keep saying that shit and you just never change. Like, there's no reason. And I didn't even know how I looked. Like I'm telling you, I'll make a whole video about this, but I didn't even know how I really looked. And now that I'm lean, I'm like, oh wow, like I've never even seen my face before, never truly. Like that's a whole different topic. But the point is like getting actually lean shows you who you actually are. You get to see what you've actually built. It's incredible. And then again, you're in a much better position to build muscle from there anyway. You know, I do think that the whole like main gain kind of concept is actually a pretty good concept. You can still lean bulk and be lean and just stop once you get to 15% body fat or 17% body fat or whatever that is, you know, comfortable for you. You don't have to bulk into oblivion and look like shit. It doesn't help you. Because I think there's a lot of people who are in this camp. A lot of people have trained in the gym for 2 to 3 years. There's a lot of people in that intermediate kind of stage. And at this point, you should get lean and reward yourself for being consistent in the gym for a few years. Look the part. Yeah, you might look a little smaller. That's fine. But I highly recommend that you try this out for yourself. If you want to learn more about cutting, let me know. I have a full bulking guide. I can make a full cutting guide if that's something that interests you. I can share everything I've learned from this last cut and all the previous cuts before this. But yeah, let me know if you have any specific questions. I will see you in the next video. Just getting a little coffee and pre-workout. Love me some black coffee. I can't believe I'm a coffee guy. I never liked coffee back in the day. And when I did, of course, I had to have it with milk because I was like a little bitch. And now I just drink black coffee every day and I'm like, fuck yeah, that shit tastes like gasoline. Feels like it too. Anyway,